Well, ahoy there, mateys. We're going to jump right into 5.2. It's been a little while since we talked about ratios. We had spring break and all. So we're going to revisit this real quickly. So take a look at the picture. What is the ratio of circles to triangles? Okay, so 6 to 8. There's 6 circles for every 8 triangles. We're going to learn today that you can actually simplify that. You can reduce it 3 to 4. We talked about that a little bit before spring break. What about the ratio of triangles to rectangles? Okay, that one is 2 to 1 when you simplify it. So there's 8 triangles and 4 rectangles. That is the same as the ratio of 2 to 1. Okay, what about the ratio of rectangles to circles? So for that one, can be simplified to 2 to 3. So there's 4 rectangles, 6 circles, or every 2 rectangles, there are 3 circles. And the final one, what is the ratio of triangles to the total number of figures? So there are 8 triangles, 18 total figures. That can simplify to a ratio of 4 to 9. If you have any questions on simplifying ratios, send me an email or see me during on demand or see Mr. Rude. Okay, now jumping in, we did that one. What's happening? Here we go. Jumping into the new thing, and that's ratio tables. So ratio tables can be used to solve ratios. So this first table says that for every 1 pen, there are 3 pencils. So if we're going to fill in the blank, if there are 2 pens, how many pencils would there be? That's right, there'd be 6. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. So they're going to talk about how to make these tables. There we go. So here's the thing. I don't like this repeated addition model because you're going to make a mistake if you use it. All right. So here you're adding a pen, adding 3 pencils. The trick is every time you add a pen, you have to remember you're adding 3 pencils because that's the ratio, is 1 pen is the same as 3 pencils. Pencils. I'd prefer using multiplication. Think about this with multiplication, and this gets into that. And again, this shows all the equivalent ratios. All right, so now we have the second table, which is cats and dogs. So for every 4 dogs, there are 6 cats. How many dogs would there be if there are 12 cats? Yes, there would be 8. And here's where the multiplication thing comes in handy. So they're going to talk about it right here. So to go from 6 cats to 12 cats, which is what we're doing here, you're doubling it. So don't think of addition. Don't think of subtraction. It's multiplication for these ones. So 6 times 2 is 12. 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, now to go from 4 dogs to 24 dogs, you're multiplying that by 6. Okay, which means you're going to do 6 cats times 6 to get that 36 that's missing in the table. So this multiplication, to me, is the way better way of doing this than the repeated addition, because when you multiply, you're doing the same number on the top and the bottom. With the addition, you're adding different numbers to the top and bottom. And that's where you're going to make a mistake if you make a mistake using ratio tables. So here, you are going to make sugar water for your hummingbird feeder because they love sugar water. A website indicates that you use 4 parts of water for every 1 part of sugar. You use 20 cups of water. How much sugar do you need? So take a minute, try and solve this problem however you want to solve it. And then we're going to go over how to do it with a ratio table. Okay, so here's how you'd solve this with a ratio table. Boom. 4 cups or 4 parts of water is 1 part sugar. Again, they're using addition here, which I don't like so much. So here, the way I would do it is with multiplication, which I believe they're going to show here, which is the better way, in my opinion. So to go from 4 cups of water to 20, which is what it's saying you're going to do here, you have to multiply it by 5. So you take that 1 part of sugar and multiply by 5, and that tells you it's 5 cups of sugar that you need for 20 cups of water. So again, I prefer this multiplication way. This addition way will lead to mistakes that you don't want to make. Okay, so if you said 5 cups of water, you're right. Nice job. Okay, so the nutrition facts label on a box of crackers shows that there are 240 milligrams of sodium for every 36 crackers. You eat 15 crackers. How much sodium do you consume? So I would like you right now to try to solve this however you want to solve it. I'd suggest attempting a ratio table, and then we'll go over how to do it using a, I believe, simplified ratio. All right, let's see how we did here. So they're saying to, again, make this ratio table. So sodium is 240 for 36 crackers. So that would be our first part of this ratio table. Now what they're doing is they're simplifying this down. So they're dividing each of these by 2 to get 120 and 18, divided by 6 to get 20 and 3. So this means that for every 20 milligrams of sodium, there are 3 crackers. That's a ratio. That's the same as this 240 to 36 ratio. It's like simplifying the ratio. You could have gotten directly there by dividing each of these by 12. Okay, now from this 20 to 3, you can take that 3 crackers, this 20 milligrams of sodium, and apply that to 15 crackers is what you're trying to solve here. So you do 3 times 5 to get 15, so you do 20 times 5 is 100. All right, now that we've had this one, it should make this second question a little easier. So now that you know all that, you eat 21 crackers. How much sodium do you consume? Okay, so again, going back to the simplified ratio of 20 milligrams per 3 crackers, you could take that 3 crackers and multiply by 7. Oh, there we go. They're using addition. Again, not my favorite method. So 7 times 3 gets you to 21 crackers. 107 times 20 is 140, which is how many milligrams of sodium here. So I would go with this ratio of 20 to 3, multiply the 3 by 7 to get the 21 that you're trying to solve for. Do the 20 times 7 also to get the 140, which is the answer. Okay, and the last example, you mix 3 pints of yellow paint for every 4 pints of blue paint to make green paint. You use 10 pints of blue paint. How much green paint do you make? Okay, so again, the ratio table will come in handy. Go ahead and solve this however you want to try to solve it. Now let's see how you did. So they're suggesting this ratio right here of yellow to blue of 3 to 4 as the original one indicates. And then what they're doing is turning this 4 blue into 10. So they're saying you use 10 pints of blue paint. So this 4 has to become a 10. So one way to do this, the way I would do it is 4 times 2.5 gives you 10. So I have to do 3 times 2.5, which would take me to the 7.5. The other way you can do this is to divide this 4 by 2 like they're doing here. And you find out that you also have to divide this one by 2. So it's 1.5 pints of yellow for every 2 pints of blue, which you can then multiply by 5 to get that same 7.5. Okay, so these ratio tables are just ways to solve, and they're showing an example of how you would then answer, because the final answer is how much green paint do you make. So you would make a total of 17.5 pints of green paint because you have 10 blue mixed with 7.5 yellow. All right, so that is ratio tables. At first, they're going to be a little confusing, a little challenging. Here's the most important thing. Whatever you do to the top number in terms of multiplying or dividing it, you also do to that bottom number. As long as you're doing that every step along the way, you're never wrong. And it eventually leads you to the right answer. So that's kind of the big hint is make your ratio table correct based on the ratio they give you. And it really doesn't matter which one you put on the top, which one you put on the bottom, as long as you keep track of them correctly. And then for me, I would not do addition or subtraction at all. I would merely just multiply or divide the top and bottom by the same amount until you end up with the ratio numbers that you're looking for the answer. Okay, if you need any help, my suggestion is check out the digital textbook first. See Mrs. Rude, send me an email, see me during on-demand time if I'm available, or send me a question on Flipgrid. So good luck as you're working on big ideas. And let me know if you need any help. All right.